Let's talk about the scale, shall we? Okay. There's a few lines of reasoning on the scale. I know people who say they get on the scale every single day, and then if their weight goes up, they know that they need to back things off a little bit. Sounds reasonable. Then I know people who only get on the scale once a week or once a month. Also sounds reasonable. Logically, it's very reasonable. Here's what happens. Let me start with what can happen in my body, just as an example. Because that's the only thing I know is what happens in my world, right? Okay. So, I can get on the scale and I can gain, I have seen quite, no joke, I have gone up 8 pounds in one day. All right, so if I'm a scale watcher and I've gone up, say I'm a scale watcher and I only weigh myself once a month, and that happens to be the day that I'm up 8 pounds. Emotionally, how's that going to make me feel? Am I going to look at that and just go, oh, okay, 8 pounds, probably some water? If I'm 3% of the population, I might say that. If I'm the other 97%, I'm going to feel bad about myself. I'm going to body shame. I'm going to walk around and go, oh my God, I'm so fat. Oh my God, I got to get on a diet, blah, blah, blah. So my point is your body moves with the moon. I forget what the percentage is, but you are a lot of water, okay? And if you have an autoimmune disease, you probably have a lot of inflammation. And even if I'm taking good care of myself and I still have a lot of inflammation. So understand that your body is literally fluid. And by fluid, I mean it's water, but also that it's moving things around constantly. Now, if you get on the scale every day and you say, okay, well, I can go up and down 8 pounds a day, you might be more apt to just go, okay, it's one of those days. Here's how I feel about the scale. Either you get on it every single day and use it as a tool and take the emotional out of it, or you don't get on it at all and you use your clothes or your moods or the way you feel as a gauge of how you're doing it. And I'm going to rant back around to that getting on it every day, but work with me here for a minute. Emotionally, most people can't handle that. If you just don't get on the scale, you know when you're out of control. You know when you've been eating too much sugar. You know when you've been having a little too many wine or beverages. You know that. You don't need a scale to tell you. And part of what the plan is to make you get, obviously to give you better deep nutrition, but to get you in touch with that person inside, that little voice in there that's your best friend, that little voice that you need to take care of. And so if we can get you in touch with that, it's going to be more of an intuition thing. It's not going to be macros and scale numbers and calories. It's almost, I hate to say it, but I would love for you to meditate. And the more you listen, the louder that voice becomes. And then you know what to do. You don't need any outside influences to tell you what you should be doing. Now, let's go back to that getting on the scale every day. If you're on Whole30, the minute you decide you're going to do a Whole30, I want you off that scale. And that might be 3 weeks before you start. But the minute you decide that you're doing a Whole30, no scale. Obviously, you don't do the scale for 30 days. A lot of people weigh themselves on day 31, and that is part of the program. If you want to do that, that's fine. Personally, if you're fine, personally, I don't want you to do that, because I would hope that once you've gone through my program or any of the other coaches' programs, that you don't need the scale, that your non-scale victories are so much better than anything you could see on the scale. You know, that your skin is glowing, that you don't have any heartburn, so on and so forth. If you could hit like 15 non-scale victories and still weigh the same, wouldn't you do that? So let's just go food freedom. If you're going to get on the scale every day, if you're just that person and I can't talk you out of it, then you need to understand that the scale is just a tool of inflammation. It's not a tool of self-esteem. It's not, oh, it was 4 pounds down, so I'm a good girl. Oh, it was 3 pounds up, so I'm a bad person. Oh, see, the scale also is kind of like the diet culture where, oh, I ate a candy bar and it's 300 calories, so I have to go run on the treadmill for an hour. The scale is just like that. It's, oh, I got on it, I'm up 2 pounds, so I have to do this, this, and this today. Health is a long-term goal. It is made daily by small habits. You getting on the scale and going, oh my God, and having a reaction and just really swinging the pendulum the other way on one day doesn't help you with your long-term goals. Remember the rabbit and the hare? Slow and steady wins the race. So really the scale has no place in healthcare. It really doesn't. And when you go to the doctor and they weigh you, I mean, they're just looking for baselines. But we were talking about BMIs this morning, and my friend Nicole, who is the cutest, you probably see her on my Instagram stories, just a tiny little thing. Her BMI is obese. I am morbidly obese. And I'm morbidly obese, but you could sit me next to a thin person that smokes and drinks. And to look at us, you would think the thin person was healthier. I eat well. I move every day. I sleep 7 to 8 hours every night. Who's healthier? The person that looks skinny or me? I think I am. Might just be my opinion. But these are the things you need to think about. You need to get rid of all of the social convention. You need to kick it in the ass and be a little bit of a rebel and do things completely different than everybody else. Remember back before the crash and everybody was buying houses and flipping them? When you're doing what everybody else is doing, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the wrong thing. If everybody's eating low fat, you can pretty much be sure that that's probably not the thing to be doing. So, I'm rambling and ranting, but break up with the scale. Just break up with it. Give it to your significant other, give it to your kids, give it to somebody and tell them to hide it. And after you haven't had it for a month or 2, you'll probably forget about it. So that would be my advice. If you have any questions about this, feel free to message me. Okay? Have a good one. Bye.